Hey guys, we're going to go over my way of stringing rackets. I call it the StringBlok method. What I'm going to show you today is how to string rackets without using starting clamps. These are the things that cause the damage to the strings. No more of these excuses by stringers to the player saying, oh, you must have hit a flank shot, or hey, the strings were defective. I hear it every day, all the time from other stringers. You are causing the damage. Don't use these clamps in your string bed. This is how you do it the right way. This is how you do it the StringBlok method. Guys, in this video, we're going to learn how to string a racket without using starting clamps. What I set up here is what you see all the time from other stringers. This is how your strings get damaged. You always see a stringer backing up the machine clamp with a starting clamp, and sometimes you're going to see a starting clamp outside the frame holding the string. We're not going to do it because that's how you damage strings for your players. Let's learn to do it the right way. All right guys, we're in the shop. We're going to learn how to do the StringBlok method of stringing a racket, the entire racket, without using any starting clamps. As we saw in those pictures I showed earlier in this video, what the damage starting clamps do to strings, especially polyester strings. Multi-filament strings, you're going to see the ghosting. On polyester strings especially, the clamp and the tightness is going to damage the integrity of the string. We don't want that because it's going to bust the string for the player. We don't want that as a stringer. We're going to go ahead, start off by pulling the top two mains. We're going to lock it in. As you can see, I always hold up the clamp. I go to the second pull, and I'm going to lock it in. From here, I'm just going to do what we did as a stringer. We're going to continue. I'll usually do about 3 mains on both sides, and then from there I'll do 2 and 2 until I get to the tie-offs. Lock it in. As you can see, I did 3. I'm going to go ahead on the other side. And lock it in. So right now, I just started the mains. I didn't use any starting clamps. So you can see I did 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. From this point on, I'm gonna go 2 and 2 till we get to the final main to do the tie-off. All right, guys, we just finished the mains. We're about to tie off on the outside mains. What I do at this point, I got a 50-pound reference tension racket. I'm gonna go ahead and add 15% to my tie-offs. Knocks up my tension up to 57.5. I'm gonna go ahead and pull, lock it in, and tie off the knot. A lot of people are probably asking, why am I adding 15% or added weight to the reference tension? Well, I'm going to show you why right here. This string right here is going to be tied with no pull or tension other than hand pull tension. As you look right now, that 1 inch is critical to the tension, overall tension of the racket. I add 15% to compensate for that distance. I'm going to come around. I personally use Parnell knots, but other people like Wilson Pro knots or whatever knot they come up with. The 15% compensated for the difference. Let's go to the other side. Add 15%. Tension goes up to 57.5. I'm going to come in for my knot. Use whatever knot you want. Again, I personally use a Parnell. Lock it in, release. Again, the additional 15% or 7.5 pounds locked in this piece that nobody can tension because they don't got 3 arms. Very important. There's a lot of strings out there that don't do this. It impacts the stringing, tightens up the knots, compensates for that space. Let's go to the crosses. All right, guys, we're about to do the crosses. As you can see, I pre-weave the majority of my strings. You can see I go about 5, 6, 7 crosses deep. I'm going to push up. What's important is none of these strings are crossed under tension. Very important because you got to protect your mains from burns. The burns weaken the strings. If you look at breaks, and I've studied break for a very long time. At one point I documented over 1,000 breaks, and what I found is the majority of the breaks occur right here on the racket. So this is the area that I'm focusing on. This is the area where the players break their strings. That's my priority. So as you can see, I pre-strung. People are gonna say, why are you pre-stringing 5, 6, 7 deep? I'm pre-stringing all my strings as much as I can to get ahead of this next string that I'm gonna pull for tension. So right now, I'm gonna pull for tension. All right, here we go. Here comes StringBlok back into play. I'm gonna go ahead and feed it through the hole. I'm gonna lock it in with the clamp, and I'm gonna pull that first cross. I'm gonna lock it in. I'm gonna cross it. You can see how I'm raising the string not to burn these crosses. Very, very important. I'm gonna go ahead and push up that string. Locking the cross. I'm paying a lot of attention to this cross, making sure it's straight. Again, we're gonna go to the third cross. We're gonna lock it in. We're gonna go to the fourth cross. Right now, I did 4 crosses all straight. I don't have to come back after the fact and start stabbing the racket like we've seen other people do. 4 crosses, all straight. None of these crosses are being pulled under tension, so it's not impacting the mains. There's no burn occurring. The player benefits. All right, guys, we're at the final cross tie-off at the bottom of the racket. But what's important, why I'm showing you this angle, is these crosses are straight. That goes back to my tip video on my YouTube page on how I'm pushing up the string to touch the top cross. So when I do the cross, it pulls flat. It doesn't have that rainbow curve that we see a lot of players do. And what that does, that eliminates all this stabbing that's being done after the racket has been locked in. When you're doing stabbing, all you're saying is that you're fixing the bow, which when it straightens out is gonna impact the overall tension of the racket. So let's go to the bottom cross. We're gonna pull tension at 15%. We're gonna lock it in. I always cut this tail just to get me some room to work with. About a 1-foot-long string. And again, I pretty much lock all my rackets off or top them off with Parnell knots. Here's a tight little spot that I'll work around the clamp to get it done. Okay, I'm gonna lock it in. I'm checking my outside perimeter that there's no overlaps. It's 2 strings flat to flat. It's not 2 strings that are crossing. See that a lot as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it up. Pull it, release, and then I'm done. I'm gonna cut the tail off and then go back to the StringBlok. I'm gonna go ahead and tie this last knot. Again, last pull on the top main. I'm gonna add 15%. Takes the 57.5, lock it in, release, remove the clamp, remove the block, and go in for the knot. Again, use any knot you want to tie off with, whatever you're comfortable with. I pretty much stay with Parnell knots, and I know a lot of people use the Wilson Pro knot. That's just your personal reference. Go ahead and walk the knot forward and clamp it in. Now, you can see my knots and my tails. I leave about 1 inch. All I'm doing there is just quality control. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna cut on an angle, trim it down, and the racket's ready. Again, you see my crosses nice and straight. My mains are nice and straight. There's no reason to start stabbing your racket like we see a lot of people do. Focus on the crosses, push the string up to the top cross, pull tension, and lock it in. Most importantly, what purpose of this example here is not to use this. This is causing damage. This is causing premature breaks. See the damage every time when you use the clamp against polyesters. You see the damage and you feel the damage with your finger. There's no reason to put damaged strings in your player's string bed. Let's talk about the string bed. This is the string bed, but remember guys, this is equally as important on the string bed, because if you have a tie off here and you're clamping here, well guess what? That tie off is damaged there's a probability that the string's going to break premature. And guess what? It's your fault. It's not a manufacturer's defect, and it's not a shank. It's because the string was damaged before it was taken off the rack. Thanks, guys.